The Arc de Triomphe in Paris, the symbol of the fighting French people, has become a symbol of farmers' struggle against the agreement with Mercosur countries. The Mercosur agreement cannot be signed. It will open the door to unfair foreign competition for our products. We can produce enough ourselves at competitive prices. Will the protests bring results? We will find out on Friday. That is when the vote on the agreement with the Mercosur countries will take place. At the moment, there is not a sufficient blocking minority. France and Hungary have announced their firm opposition. Hungary will vote against the EU-Mercosur free trade agreement tomorrow. The EU Commission is pushing to adopt and implement a deal that would open Europe to unlimited imports of South American agricultural products at the expense of the livelihoods of Hungarian farmers. We oppose this decision, as Brussels is once again ignoring the interests of our farmers. For the agreement to be rejected, Poland would also have to be part of the blocking minority. It is unclear how the government of Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk will approach the issue. The Polish Minister of Agriculture is shifting the responsibility off his shoulders. Let's remember that it is not the ministers of agriculture who will ultimately decide whether to sign this agreement. It is also a matter for the ministers of economy and finance, who will have their say, and the prime ministers. All that was needed was to maintain the blocking minority that had existed for years, according to the opposition. In 2019, we managed to create a blocking minority with France, Ireland, Belgium, and other countries, a minority that lasted until 2024. The government in Poland changed, and so did the narrative of the European Commission, which decided to step on the gas and bring this agreement to a conclusion. The Italians are still hesitant about their opposition. However, following Wednesday's meeting of agriculture ministers in Brussels, the Italians are getting closer to signing the agreement. The Italians have already negotiated points in the agreement that will result in them receiving more money from the EU budget, and at the same time, they will decide to sign the agreement. There was a moment to talk to them, and the blocking minority was within reach. Now it's too late. Germany stands to benefit most from the agreement, as it will open up a market in South America for its own products, including those from the automotive and chemical industries. Pressure is mounting not only from the European Union and Germany. Among others, the president of Brazil is pushing for the agreement to be signed as soon as possible. Europe has not yet made a decision. Its leaders have asked for more time. However, it will not be possible for France alone to prevent the agreement from being reached. I hope that the agreement will be signed as soon as possible. The signing of the agreement could mean bankruptcy for Polish and European farmers. This is going in the direction of satisfying the interests of someone out there, the big lobbyists. I think the point is to deprive us, small farms up to 300 hectares, family farms, of this. The specific nature of Polish agriculture, and not only Polish agriculture, but also that of many Western European countries, is its family character. It is the family that makes a living from running the farm. That is why the state has a duty, not only a right, but also a duty to take care of this agriculture. After all, Polish agriculture provides us with a key aspect of the functioning of the state, food security. It is difficult to imagine a sovereign, independent country that does not have its own food, is dependent on external food, and only its own agriculture is able to provide this basic amount of food. All the more so because European farmers provide proven, healthy products due to the restrictive standards that their crops must meet. This is in contrast to producers in South America. They are not withdrawing the substances that we have withdrawn, which are carcinogenic, unhealthy, and harmful. And in a few years' time, it may turn out that many people in Poland and Europe will be ill. There is no justification for substances that are considered dangerous and therefore banned in the European Union to be tolerated in imported food products. That is why farmers across Europe have been protesting for months. In Greece, thousands of farmers have begun a 48-hour blockade of key road junctions. Polish farmers are already heading to Warsaw from all over Poland. It is in the capital, on the day of the vote on the adoption of the agreement, that their protests will culminate. We are just setting off for tomorrow's protest in Warsaw. Let's all meet there. Let's stand together to fight. Let's not die in silence. I also appeal to the president, Mr. Karol Nawrocki, to stand with us. The president is not deaf to such appeals. President Nawrocki will meet with the protesting farmers here at the presidential palace at 10 a.m. because he wants to engage in dialogue and help Polish farmers. The farmers' fate may be decided in Brussels.